Greetings one and all, and welcome to Zayfard Plays Galactic Civilization 3. Now, this will be my first Let's Play, ever in fact, so I should introduce myself. My name, rather unsurprisingly, is Zayfard. In this series I will be playing various games that, to be honest, I enjoy playing, and I will be sharing them with you, whoever you are. I do hope this is something you enjoy. I know it's something I have been enjoying. So, without further ado, let us start Galactic Civilization 3. In this run through, I'll be playing the Krynan Syndicate, mostly because I want to really build my empire quickly. So I've also set the galaxy type as excessive, because if you're going to do it, you may as well do it big. Or a better way of saying it is go big or go home. And I've set the random type of map. I just like this randomness of never quite knowing what you're going to come across. As for my opponents, I have created all but one of the races as a random, so one race will not be appearing in this map. Who? Couldn't tell ya! And that's the way I like it. So, in this playthrough, we may be seeing the Terran Alliance, or possibly the Drengan Empire, or the Altarian Resistance, or in fact any of the base game's races. I don't know which. I will not know which until we get in there. So, let us start and see what this game brings. Now, just to fill you in a few details, I am playing the pre-order version from the 2014 release without any additional DLC. I have got some extra map parts because I ordered earlier. Now, the Krynan Syndicate is basically a religious race. It's not actually one specific species. It's various other spacefaring races, all trying to push out to the world their religion. Now, before I go any further, I'll check what the time is and try and keep this episode to a reasonable size. Now, looking at our area, we start off with Kryseth, which is a lovely Class 8 planet, a Scout, which the Kryseth call an agent, a survey ship, which is, it basically goes out to anomalies, see what's in them, a really helpful little vessel. And they call these looters. And of course our colony ship, which works as a settler would in civilization. I send it to a planet, they colonize the world for us. Lovely little mechanic there. Now, we can see here on the larger map, see the tactics, different symbols for different ships, and of course different world symbols. Now, these symbols are for a Class 4 planet, which is, to be honest, rubbish. So we'll zoom out, we'll see what kind of actually, we only have a few planets nearby. But I do hope these solar systems are good for us. So I'm going to send my agent out to the furthest to see what's there. My looter over here to see what they are. And I will send my colony ship, which the Kyrian call a squatter, over to this solar system here in the hope of finding a decent world. Now, I'm going to have to choose my research. For me, I always like to start with Universal Translator, as in all honesty there is nothing worse than meeting a new alien species and going, "What the heck did you just say? I don't understand. Please tell me more." Hate it. Did that in one game, and it's just really confusing, so I always start with a Universal Translator. Now, let's see what the world's given us. So, we have a haven, which will give us a bonus to approval and wealth. Well, I've got nothing that will use that. Wealth and research adjacent, but again, that's useless. However, the Hypersilicate will give us good research, so that's useful to know. Okay, I think I'm going to start with factories in these three locations. Get some good building up to start with. Helps produce things much more quickly. The production on your planet goes towards production on your space stations and your space docks, and this will help create your ships faster. Now, as this is a space-based game, all of your ships are out fighting in space. That's where all your combat happens. You're going to beat up a planet, you're going to use your spaceships. There is no planet-based combat at all, which is fine, it works really well. Okay, next I'm going to get some research either side of here. Now later I know you can get soil reclamation, so I'm hoping that in this spot I'll be able to get soil reclamation and put in yet another research space here. give me some really good research. And I think that's all I'm going to build for now. So let's go to the shipyard and see what we need. Now, I'm going to build a shaper, which is it's Galactic Civilization's version of a worker. They can go out there and they can improve space. Now, because it's space, what you can improve is heavily limited. The main thing these are good for is building space stations. Now, they can do multiple different things. They can mine asteroids to give you special resources. They can be used to improve your area of influence, so you can see further. They can be used to push your culture, which is always really helpful, gives you a bigger area of influence, enables you to see more, and will start taking territory away from other civilizations. One of the ways of winning the game is to have, I think it's about a 75% culture. So I have on the map, this excessively sized map, 75% of it. So I'll build up one of those to start with, and of course the third thing, space station, you can actually use it to improve your manufacturing, your science of your of all the planets in the area of influence. So at the moment these two planets are worthless to me, but if I was to put a space station here, I could boost the manufacturing and science of these two worlds and make them very, very valuable indeed. However, I have waffled on enough about my plans. Let's hit the turn button and see what we find. And they'll start moving. So I say, this is a game I've had this since launch. I'm not the greatest player in the world at it, I'm not going to lie. However, it is a good fun game. As I say, the early stages can be quite dull, as we're waiting to see what's on each of these planets. Aha, so first planets, and they're dead worlds. We can't colonise those, they are useless to us. So I'm going to send him over here to see what's in this solar system. So unfortunately we've got the same problem here. This does seem to be a solar system with nothing but dead worlds. So I'm going to send my agent. Well, actually that's all it can do. So I'm just going to automate it explore now. Show me as much of the space as I possibly can. At the very least it'll show me where the pirate bases are. Ah, and the universal translator has finished, which is fantastic news. So, for my next tech, I think I'm going to start working on orbital manufacturing. No, I'm going to do interstellar travel, as I'm nowhere near anything. I'll do interstellar travel to expand my area where I can fly. That's one of the cool things with this. Your ships can only fly a certain range away from your controlled space, from your area of influence, or nearest planets. So, you can see here we have this dotted line in a hex around my colony ship, and that shows how far the colony ship can travel away from my area of influence. And every ship has a different range. So, my looter here can travel further, a lot further. Whereas my agent, that's really quite limited. However, the big problem here is, yes, I can send my survey ship to all these extra solar systems, but I can't send my colony ship. Way to deal with that? Create a starbase at the edge to increase my influence area. So, let's see what happens when we move further afield and as we get towards the actual bases and solar systems. Hopefully, we'll actually find a planet we can colonize. Now, as of course each map is procedurally generated, you have no idea what you're going to find. So that is how I like it. If I know what's coming, it's less fun with these. Half the joy is not knowing. And asteroids. Thorium. Yeah, there really is nothing there, is there? Really nothing there. So, great fun for me. Our starting location has 3 planets. One our starting world, and two which are virtually worthless. This is going to hamper our growth considerably. However, the only way to deal with this, come back, colonize these, get as many planets working as we can, so I can get the space base out as quickly as possible and start to push out the growth of space stations. Speaking of space stations, our Shaper, which is our builder for this race, has one more turn before it's ready. Now I have a couple of options with that. First of all, the shipyard is idle, so I'm going to have a few more Shapers ready. And actually, to help me build better, I'm also going to have a squatter ready as well. Actually, I'll do that next. This will allow me to colonise the third planet of our solar system. Yes, it's going to be a rubbish planet, but it is all I've got at the moment. And I can do with the extra ability. So, this Shaper, what would I like to do with it? It's got a really large influence range, which is helpful. However, I think I'm going to move it over here and create a space station that will benefit the planets we have here, help them run a bit better. Okay, so our interstellar travel is complete. That should be helpful. What do we need next? Now, as we go out, we are going to find pirates. There are always pirates, and they sit there causing chaos and mayhem for all of us. So I think some weapons will be beneficial to us. Just some basic lasers, just so we have some way of dealing with pirates when they arrive. Okay, so my Shaper is now in position. So, I'm going to command it to construct a starbase. And this is one of the things I actually love about this game. The first time you do anything, first time you build a starbase, first time you start collecting trilithium or dilithium or any other resource, there's a little cinematic. It'll do the same when we have our first colony in place. Just has a little bit more cinematic quality. It's a lovely, lovely thing. So, this is our starbase. We have a number of options. We can use defense system to make it more robust and harder to destroy, and a scanner, perimeter scanner, so you can see further. And you can do that no matter what else you choose. Now, the real choice you have is between these three rings. The military ring, that just makes your base a lot more tough, a lot harder to destroy. The economic ring is used to benefit the planets within its area of influence. This is the one I'll be going for here, just to give us a boost on our first planets, especially as they're only class 4, 2 of them. I mean, that really is almost barren. I believe Mars does show up in this game, and Mars is a class 4, so this gives you an idea just how poor a class 4 planet is. I mean, these go all the way up to about class 20, class 22. Earth likes a class 8. This really is not. They are not good planets. Culturing will help us expand our area of influence much, much quicker. Really helpful. And of course, mining. On the map there'll be specialist resources. There'll be things like, say, dilithium, trilithium, antimatter, all sorts of different things. And I've probably said those all wrong. I do tend to mispronounce things, I'm afraid. Now, in this current position, there's nothing to mine. So, it's an economic ring. Which is fine. So, the economic ring will help build my world's economy. As you can see, there's this line of hex around it. That's the area of influence, so all the planets in that area will be getting the bonuses from it. At the moment, the bonuses are nothing. When you do your base one on most of them, you get very little bonuses. But this will give me the ability to have off-space, off-planet factories, off-planet laboratories, things in here which will give bonuses to each planet in the radius. However, I will have to research them. They will come after the weapon system, however, as being able to defend my empire is rather critical, to say the least. So let's continue with the turns, see if we can find anything useful. Over here we have Belini, I can't even pronounce that, I do apologise, and Antium. Both are beneficial. Durantium will help make harder hulls, and the Tholium will basically make better targeting systems. Useful. In fact, as I've upgraded systems, let us see what we can do. Agent. Range on that. Ship range is 55. What's the old agent's ship range? See if it actually has gone up. So the ship range of this one is 44. So, if I was to make another one of these... In fact, actually... Ship range is 66. The old ship is 66 in the old squatter. What's it on the new one? 88. So they'll be useful later on in the game, so I can actually get a similar range. However, I'm also going to put an agent in there, a Mark II, to help me see further. Now we are waiting very patiently on the looter. Ah, the Chryseth is now finished. Well, not much really I can build here. I mean, I suppose I could put a factory in, or I could put a laboratory. But in all... Actually, yeah, we'll put in a laboratory. More science is better than no science. So, let's end the turn and see where things lead. As I say, with the excessively sized map, it can be a slow start. Aha! I now have weapons. Fantastic. I can now create ships to defend my empire. Really helpful, that. Oh, excuse me, I seem to have got the hiccups. So, Universal Translator, Xenopath, Engineering, that should be the one. Let's have a look what we do. All manufacturing. Okay, none of those are going to help. So we'll go into expansion. So, aha, these are the ones we want. So, we're going to go the Xeno Industrialization. This will give us better quality factories on planet side and give us the ability to make factories on my space stations. So, my economic specialization space station here will be able to give factory bonuses to all 3 of these planets, which I think is a very good use of time and abilities. Ah, excellent, we're 1 turn away. Colony's idle again. So, all I can do is either boost my economy or boost my culture. Now, the way things stand, I think I'm going to boost my economy so I have the money to buy things as I need them. As things stand, I'm getting 5 galactic credits every turn. So far I have 5,132 galactic credits. Put this in perspective. An Acolyte, which is the very basic little tiny ship, will cost... Actually, tell me how much it costs. Costs not a lot. So, it is time for the first colonization, which of course is going to be Chryseth Beta. Once you've found, as always, first time you found a colony, you will gain a little cutscene. Now, the one minor moan I have with that is that all the cutscenes are for the Terran Alliance, no matter what race you are. It would have been nice if they'd have done this with each race. But, c'est la vie. So, what can we get here? For the Wasteland will give us a bonus to military and a side bonuses to manufacturing. And this will give us bonus to population and to approval. Now, neither is hugely useful. I'm going to start with 1 factory here, so hopefully we'll later be able to terraform and get more factories along the side. And a research here, just so we've got the basics. Research I always like having a lot of because you progress a lot more quickly through the game and get a lot more power. So, whenever you get to choose a ship, whenever you launch a new colony ship, no matter which race you are, you'll get to pull people in and decide how big you want to colonize with. The bonus with this empire, it actually increases the amount of people you have on board each ship when you go onto the planet side. So you put 3 across from your colonization ship, you actually get 9 on planet side, which means you can go really, really fast. Which is my aim for this campaign. However, I have turned up in a map which is dreadful for fast growth. So we'll colonize that for now and see where we lead. So, now it's come to the new colonization planet, and I can choose a name. I'm going to leave it as the default. Chryseth Gamma works fine for me. All the tiles are basic this time. I think I'm just going to focus on factory this time. I could go for more, but let's get as much manufacturing into the space stations as we possibly can. Now, one thing you do have to do over at your shipyards is to edit your sponsors and say which planets. Now, all the ones which are close automatically do it. So the combined building power of all of these is shown here. Quite a lot of power, and it does speed up quite considerably. Ready for our, to be honest, our quite hideous shapers. This race does not seem to make attractive vessels whatsoever. They are very blocky. However, they work, they do the job, and what else can you ask for? So, we'll just let everything build up for a bit. Let's see how... Aha! Oh, brilliant. So, we have finally got to this solar system after all the waiting with our looter, and there's nothing there. Let's try the next couple of solar systems, see what we can find. I do hope one of these ends up with something useful, because I'm running out of distance. I really am. Okay, so oh no, this is good news. Our research is now complete, so we're going to start automatically upgrading our factories to Xeno factories. So, anyone that says it improves... Well, Xeno factories all take over from the old factories, and there's a few other shit needs to do the same, like the Xeno Research Lab. These all just automatically improve. Whenever you have an upgrade, they automatically build, which reduces the micromanagement. Rather fond of that myself. And of course we now can add things to the starbase. Now before I show you how we do this, I'm going to choose my industrial specialization, which is the next along the research. Now, looking at this game, I think having my research improved by 10% is probably going to be my best bet. So that's what I'm going to choose to do. Now, going back to my economic space base. You can see I now have the option here of a space base factory, and what this does, it'll boost the manufacturing of each planet within range by 5%. Really useful, it's really what I want to do. So, I now need a constructor to come here. Now, I could just get a constructor if I had one ready, fly it into the space base, and it would improve it. However, I find it easier to request a constructor, and I've now ordered one. So send the request to the nearest available space yard. It will build a constructor for me and automatically send it over to my space station. That's going to take a bit of time because we have a lot built up. But that's fine. As these other planets get their manufacturing up and running, it's going to speed up. That's not a problem. Okay, so we're still waiting to see what, if anything, we can find with these local planets. And oh, hello! Now that's nice. That is very good. So we have 2 planets on this solar system. We have a class 7, which is nice enough, just a basic Earth-like planet. That's worth colonising, especially as there's so little else going on. But we have here on Conrad 2, a paradise, a beautiful world. These have so many more spaces, it's untrue. It's also going to increase the food growth and the population growth. This is a really good planet to go for. So in fact, I am going to go and get a colony ship straight away. What I'm also going to do is buy the colony ship. And that's going to cost me 1,420 billion credits. That's a lot of credits. I've got over 5,000 at the moment, so that's fine. This will just help me expand the empire so much quicker. Which is, to be honest, the whole point of this empire. And I'm going to hope that I can actually reach with this ship, because if not, I'm going to feel like an imbecile. So, because I rush bought it, it's going to turn up next turn, and turn up just by the side. As you see, the first shaper has gone into the space base. And I've now built the factory. This now means every single base station, every single planet within range is going to get a 5% bonus, which is really good, and is going to greatly increase the speed of builds. Let's get this squatter done. I'm not actually sure why the game didn't do that for me. So, loading up the ship, and we're going to send it over to the new colony. Fantastic, my research specialization has completed. So, what do I want to do next? Now, I could do institutional research. This will improve my research centers and give me the ability to choose research when I've got nothing else to build. We'll go advanced construction. I could do zero-G scanning and get even more manufacturing. Now, I think that's actually the one I want to go for now. Let's get lots of manufacturing up and running so that we can get things out quicker later once we meet other people. So let's end that turn and start getting the ships over. We have a new ship. Constructor. Now, I'm going to send the constructor up here to get all of those resources with this new space base. Now, unfortunately, you can't have the space bases too close to each other, so it will be hard to get these two resources. But that's fine. We're going to be getting so much more manufacturing goods. However, I think I'm going to end the episode here. It has been about half an hour. I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. I know I've enjoyed making it. And I hope to see you at the next episode. But, until then, farewell.